Why do Europeans dislike Americans so much?
I'm asking questions about how Europeans see Americans.
I think it's a third world country with a lot of money. Very negative.
Very negative.
Yeah, I don't see anything positive about America.
I think they're a bit stupid.
American TikTokers, they earn too much money with what they do. Like in Belgium, we have to work for our money and they just make videos and that's it.
Well, can't they make money over there, over in Europe like that? I'm confused. Because TikTok, you can do that in Europe, right? Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
You know, I might be completely wrong about this, but I think it was a little bit cooler to be American when I was a kid.
Why do Europeans dislike Americans so much?
Hi guys! Hi guys!
I've lived in Europe for several years now, and look, I've romanticized this continent quite a bit. I really like living here. But there's a funny feeling that I cannot shake, and I think it has to do with how Europeans view Americans.
How's that?
Or how Europeans view me when they discover that I'm American. And it's not entirely positive. This feeling has not gone away even though I've been here for a few years now. And it's not hatred, it's more like negative undertones, offhand comments or jokes that are made, and it makes me
about
feel
like the schools and like the guns,
cool.
yeah.
And by the way, I recognize not all Europeans dislike Americans. That is a massive
fat with guns,
generalization. But I'm bringing
mobility
this up
scooters.
because it's been enough of a trend for me to confidently talk about this as something that's really happening.
See, yeah,
in the world.
European always go and think they fucking better than us. They're thinking about us here in America. We can't even see where their country. We don't even know where their country is on a map. We don't even know where the fuck they are. We're not thinking about. You think we're thinking about Germany? I don't even know where the hell that is. Sweden? Yeah, it's like somewhere over there. Like, yeah, what? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even thinking about
just
them.
in my head. It just seems like when it comes
The
to
fuck is a
Europeans'
kilometer?
view
Yeah.
of Americans, there's a lot to dislike. I don't necessarily entirely disagree. I have plenty of my own criticisms about the United States and the way of life over there. And I think that all places, all societies merit criticism. That's how we get better. So this applies to everyone. But there's something deeper going on here that I want to explore.
What is it?
On a personal level, my own identity as an American, but also the identity of Americans on the global stage. We don't live in a bubble, and it turns out
I think what happens is the fact that American news media makes America look like it's a PvP server. Whereas, like, actually, I bet a lot of places in America probably aren't that different from Europe. It's probably about the same demeanor, about the same vibe. Things are different, language is different, but the people are probably about the same. Like, they probably get along. It's not that big of a difference. You know, other than like, you know, unique cultural differences, like, you know, like in Venice, you know, there's a lot of apparently like lakes and shit like that, rivers. So like, it's not going to be 1-to-1, but it's going to be close, right? So I think that's really what happens, right? Is like you have a lot of selective reporting that makes America look like, you know, things are crazy, but it's really not like that. It's just that the media reports on it this much.
The world has opinions about us. Now, I have my own theories about what's going on here, but I thought I'd get to the root of the matter and ask Europeans themselves.
It makes me a little bit nervous talking to strangers, but
I hate doing that, bro.
I'm just gonna go for it.
I hate when somebody tries
What
to
are
talk
the
to me.
stereotypes?
Fat.
That's a good question.
Bah moi quand je pense aux Américains, je pense à la
Think
à la
Americans
bouffe et
think their
tout.
food.
Dans quel sens? Le fast-food?
Ouais.
Ok.
Les McDo. Ouais.
McDo. Ouais, ok.
Hamburger et tout.
Mais les Français adorent McDo.
Oui. Bah on était il y a 2 mois.
Yeah.
Donc c'est pas
See,
pour-
that's the thing, bro. Like, they think that they're better than us, but where are they going? McDonald's. How about that? That's crazy. McDo, that's what they call it over there.
C'est négatif ça.
Non,
Yeah.
non, non.
Ok.
C'est l'image.
Actually, I like Americans because they are like very chilled. America is like so expensive for good food.
I don't know if
Like,
that's true
Yeah.
or not.
For like fruits and all this fresh stuff, it's like so expensive.
J'ai deux visions un peu.
Ok.
J'ai la version où ils
minds.
sont trop cool et tout, et la version vraiment
The
le
other
beauf
version is the
américain.
hillbilly
You
American.
think the
Yeah.
stereotypes about Americans
true.
are true?
Kind of. I have a classmate that is American, and we are talking like about our traditional foods. And the American was like, my typical food is hamburger, ice cream, like the McDonald's one.
Yeah.
And we are like, oh, so McDonald's is your typical food. She was like, yeah, kind of.
Could I just take a couple?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Those ice cream cones are the best. They're amazing. Absolutely. Yep.
Minutes, ask you a couple questions.
True.
Okay, if you don't have time, it's fine. Okay, all good. Have a nice day. The Americans don't have time for me.
Good one.
That's kind of funny. Would you mind if I asked you a couple questions?
Yeah, because Americans are used to having jobs and having to be places, whereas Europeans, this is just what they do.
Polarized.
Yeah.
More than the Netherlands.
Much more.
Feel younger people feel the same way or differently about American?
I think even stronger.
Even stronger?
I think they
Okay.
feel even stronger.
Yeah, the older people, I feel maybe thinking of the World War II and World War One, in which the Americans did a very good job by helping, because Europe was not
That's
doing
right.
very well.
Yep.
Ils connaissent que ce qui se passe dans leur pays.
They only know what's going on.
Sur eux-mêmes.
What they say? They only know what's going on in their country, I feel like. Well, we know what's going on in Palestine. We just don't know where it is. We know what's going on in the UK. We just don't know where it is. Like, we know it's happening. Yeah. Where is Ukraine? Somewhere. Probably. I mean, like, logically, it's probably close to Russia, right? Russia's really big. I know where that is. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, fuck. It's next to Poland? Yeah, where's Poland? Who cares?
Ils connaissent que ce qui se passe dans leur pays.
Yeah.
Parce que enfermés sur eux-mêmes.
C'est-à-dire
que
they're not interested in other countries.
pas trop aux autres pays.
That's actually true. Yeah, that's actually true. Like, most Americans, like, could not give a single fuck about, like, the European country. Like, you got to remember also, like, we fought a war 350 years ago to not give a fuck about what happens in Europe. Okay? You got to keep that in mind. Fought a fucking war because we were so sick of giving a fuck about what's happening over there. We got tired of it. Keep that in mind.
About their own country, but not about like other stuff in the world. They're overrated.
They're overrated. How? Like, they receive too much attention?
Too much hype.
Because everybody's thinking about us. Everybody's talking about us because we're the best. That's the reason people just can't stop thinking about America. That's right.
Internet.
Are you also German?
Yes, I am.
And in
That's
Germany,
right.
you feel like German people have a positive view of Americans?
Probably not.
Not really. I think
Okay, so more negative.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel that there's been a change at all in terms of how Americans are viewed, like in the last 10, 15 years?
I think so, yes. Especially due to the Trump and the Tea Party things happening. It
Forgot
got
all
more
about the Tea
polarized,
Party.
and that made it more negative in my view.
There's more that I'd like to say about why I believe this dynamic is happening, why Europeans see Americans in this way. But before I do, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is BetterHelp. And look, therapy is a really powerful tool.
I
when
heard
it comes
this
to
is really
anything
good
and
for
everything identity related. I absolutely love living abroad. I wouldn't exchange it for the world. But it has come with its own emotionally challenging situations, and it's been helpful to work with a therapist over the years. Loneliness, my own self-image, my self-worth, those are the kinds of things that I've been working at developing a deeper understanding of over the years.
This is going to sound weird, but like every time I see a person with a house and all the windows don't have tinfoil and like blankets over them, I think that person is kind of weird. Because like in my house, like everything is dark. All the lights are off. You know, it's like that's, yeah, because like that's the way I have it.
Thanks to therapy. BetterHelp is 100% online and designed to be convenient and flexible to adapt to your schedule and what works for you. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it works for you. They give you access to a very large network of licensed therapists, and so if the therapist that you're working with doesn't work out, it isn't a good fit, you can switch to a new one at no additional charge.
This sounds like a great idea.
So
I
if you're
hope
interested
there's
in
nothing wrong
checking
with
it out, you can get 10% off your first month if you sign up at betterhelp.com/NathanielDrew, and I'll leave that link in the description as well. It's one of the best ways to support my work. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video.
I just really
All
hope
right,
it's not.
time for me to share some of my own personal theories
What's
here.
this?
Here's why I think it was maybe a little bit cooler to be American in the past. I was born in the 90s, maybe like some of you. And back in the 90s,
I think that Trump being a wild ass retard saying all kinds of crazy shit does make us look stupid to Europeans. Absolutely it does. No, I mean, I look at Boris Johnson and I'm like, what do you, I mean, is this really that much different, right? I mean, Trump is worse, but like it's not that much worse. And so, like Boris is gone now. He is, but so is Trump. You know, probably like he'll probably win this time, right? But like before then, he was gone. So yeah.
Not like the United States, or the world for that matter, didn't have its problems. It definitely did. You're not gonna get any of that classic nostalgic, those were the days kind of thing from me. But one thing I think we can all agree on is that back in the 90s, the internet had not yet completely taken over our lives like it has now. And in my view,
well, the media changed. I think it's the media that really changed, because now like you have so much division and divisiveness in media that's like created by the media, that of course people think that America is a PvP server, because bro, like it's insane.
Internet feels like it's taken whatever problems already existed
9/11
and made them bigger and louder. That might actually be what the internet is best at. The fast transmission of ideas and information, which in turn amplifies them. And there's another thing that the internet is...
I actually think, like, this is my opinion. I actually think that it wasn't 9/11. I think that it was Obama. I think it was that people realized that a lot of criticism of Obama with really strong racial undertones was extremely popular. And I think that that created, like, whether it was right or wrong, that created a use case that was successful. And that use case went and it created a whole other genre of people that are like that. I hate Americans? Yeah, so that's what I think really happened. And like Obama was like, people realized that you could make a lot of money by being super divisive because it worked. And I think that one, can you elaborate? Yeah, basically, so Obama being a black guy was a big deal, right? This is a real big deal. Like, people might not remember, this is crazy, crazy, crazy big fucking deal. And so this happened, and then you had a lot of people that would say negative or like bad shit about Obama, and it was really popular. And like what people found out was that anything negative that you said about Obama would be super popular amongst an audience of people. Like that woman going out and saying like Obama is a Muslim to John McCain, and he's like, no, shut the fuck up, right? But like there were a lot of people that believed that. So I think that Obama was the first time that you had like super, super extremely judgmental people that catered, and you had content that catered to that lowest common denominator of politics, which was race at the time. And now I think that created a use case and like a example of it working in a market. And every election after that, I think, has just amplified that more and more. You're making stuff up. If you don't see it the way that I see it, that's fine. But that's the reason why I think it happened.
Good at, which is that
I think that's a big
canvas
reason
for less curated or filtered versions of that information or ideas. There are less gatekeepers, so anyone can say anything. My theory is that as time has gone on, and as the internet has played a bigger and bigger role in our lives, the world has been exposed to a less curated version of the United States. You know, you had movies and TV and pop music reaching the entire world, but it wasn't like it is today with social media and even the news reaching so many more people. Nowadays, it feels like you cannot escape the news about the mass shootings that are constantly happening in the US or the insane election cycles. I think in some ways the internet
that's because people want to see it, and it's crazy. That's the reason why, like, you hear about somebody shoots up a school and you're like, what the fuck? And so like people want to, they want to dial everything up, right? Because if you dial something up, then people might get more upset and they might be more willing to talk about it. I remember Sarah Palin was cool. No, I mean, because like Sarah Palin is another good example. Like, bro, people are making like content about her being a porn star and like sucking dicks and like having retarded kids and shit like this. Like the level, because like I remember, I don't remember anything before 2000 really. Like, yeah, no, like for real. Who? Absolutely, yeah. Like about. I'm not crazy, right? Family Guy, yeah. And so, like in 2004, right? You had Bush and who was it? John Kerry, and then 2020 was Al Gore and Bush, and they were much more chill comparatively, way more chill. And then when popular media got involved And you started, like, again, it's that people realized that you could engage a whole new audience of voters by appealing to the lowest common denominator. Because whenever you've got two statesmen up there talking about politics and like, well, I think we should spend this much money on the agricultural budget. Like, you got Bill over there in his chair. He passes. But like somebody says, I think a man should go into a woman's bathroom. Bill goes, hold up, wait a minute. What do you say? Wait, there's a black man gonna be president? What? Then he wake the fuck up. And they woke up a whole lot of Bills, Billies, Jim Bill, Billy Bob. A lot of them, they woke the fuck up. And that's what it was. And Jethro's, yeah, exactly. And Terry, yeah, all the average, very politically uninvolved Americans, 2008 was like it was like lowering the bar for accessibility in politics because the issues were more human. A woman vice president, that means that she could be president. Women are bad drivers. They can't be president. They're going to drive the country into a wall. A black person president? What? That's what it was. Like, it's real, yes. They can't be president, but I thought we just have Martin Luther King Day already being president. What? And you had all these idiots going and thinking like this. You dialed it all the way down. And now they can think. Now they can relate. That's when it started. I'm really, the more I think about this, the more I think of like the other points, and I'm like, man, this really makes more sense. And like, obviously, like, that was like nothing compared to Trump, right? Like, Trump, bro, like, Trump killed House of Cards. People say Kevin Spacey allegations killed House of Cards. No, Trump did. Because nothing that Frank Underwood could do would be even half as insane as Trump. That's what it was. Like, bro, like every political drama, because you can never beat real life now. This has all been developing since the Democrats became neoliberals, Republicans being more conservative. No, yeah, but I'm saying like in 2008, that was the first time that you had identity politics become a top issue. I think. Did you forget the social media and the internet was on the rise back then? I know. Well, what do you mean I forget? No, of course I didn't forget. I was there. How would I forget?
Have taken away some of our innocence, right? Some of our naivete. As a result, even more curated versions of culture, like the highly produced TV shows and movies, are reflecting the things that we're seeing. The unintelligent or simple American is a very believable archetype and not a new one. You've got at least one and often more than one character that perfectly fits that archetype in pretty much all American sitcoms.
Well, it's the same way, like, we have a lot of media. Like, who do I, like, whenever I think of Germany, who do I think of when I think of Germany? You know what it is, right? And so whenever I think of, like, you know, fucking Britain, who do I think of when I think of Britain? I think of, like, three things. Three people, that's it. And so, like, Americans have a big, like, one of the big things that America has is culture, right? Like, entertainment culture, and it exports that to the whole fucking world.
Friends, to How I Met Your Mother, and there are plenty of shows
like
that
Hollywood
play off
shit
of this
like that,
very intentionally.
movies.
I think of South Park, Family Guy, and The Simpsons. And internationally, the contrast is even more stark. And it might just be me, but it does feel like the perception of Americans is deteriorating. I mean, I'm thinking about shows like Emily in Paris or The White Lotus. The White Lotus in particular blew me away because it felt so believable, and oftentimes in a very depressing way. Clearly, Americans are not known for being refined or in touch with reality. This is particularly true of wealthy Americans. And why wouldn't Europeans feel this way? We are famously terrible at learning foreign languages. To many, we're seen as living in our own giant bubble.
A lot of people beforehand used to think...
You gotta understand that, like, America is really big, and so, like, people think, like, oh, well, you never leave America. Yeah, but, like, America is, like, the fucking size of Europe. is fucking massive. It's gigantic. So there's no reason to leave. It's bigger? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Like the US was like very cool and this really lovely place to go to, but I feel like everyone just thinks it's dangerous and that they don't care about their citizens. There's all these shootings going on, like their healthcare is horrible, their schooling's horrible.
So there's been a change.
I think it's always been like that. I think there's a change now because like social media is is making it more apparent.
America used to be, you know, like the American dream, like a lot of them used to be a big thing. Like gun crime is getting like publicized a lot more. So I think,
see,
like,
he gets it. It's publicized a lot more. That's exactly right. He's right.
It's changing a little bit.
Je vois l'Amérique comme une grande puissance mondiale et je les vois comme des capitalistes. En fait, si t'as de l'argent, tu vis bien, mais si t'as pas d'argent, il y a personne pour t'aider.
In France, we say the Americans are big and fat, but I have America with the friends, the salary friends.
Yeah.
Donc il y a des côtés.
It is crazy to see like Europe because there's not as many fat people there. Like, I'm looking in the background and I've got, like, my hog radar on, and I'm not seeing a lot of beeps. Yeah, there's not that many fat people.
Positifs et des côtés négatifs.
Catching up.
C'est ça, exactement. Globalement, les gens pensent ça, mais en même temps, tout le monde va à New York et tout le monde va aller aux États-Unis. C'est ça, en fait, ouais. Ils ont des préjugés, mais en même temps, c'est quand même un rêve d'y aller.
J'étais absolument ulcérée quand Trump était au pouvoir. De voir les comportements de cet homme.
Trump definitely was, you know, like that lost us a lot of reputation. Yep.
Ça donne pas envie d'aller forcément dans
make you want to go to the US.
Ces conditions-là. Le fait que les gens soient très armés, j'ai l'impression que je me sentirais pas en sécurité.
Most people love Canadians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you clarify you're a Canadian, they're like,
We're like, oh, Canada, where are you from in Canada? For me, it's like a lot about the money, like the times I went to New York and it's like, you know, winners and losers and, you know, you gotta make it and you gotta make loads of money.
That's
and
right.
blah, blah, blah. And then, like, if you don't have money,
you
like,
die.
Basically
you die.
I would say extremes.
Extremes.
It's like an extreme, you know, country, like very, very.
I think she's really right about this, by the way. This is 100% true. She 100% right.
Rich, very, very poor, eat very much, eat very, very, very healthy, like extreme healthy, extreme.
Somebody says Trump didn't lose us the rep. It's the media that panned him bad did. Yeah, but that's still about Trump, right? The media definitely does this. Like the main reason why this happens is because the media. The media distorts reality. You have to understand media is not on your side. Media is your enemy. Media is the media company, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all of them. These are all publicly traded, in I think a lot of cases, corporations whose primary goal is to the shareholders. That's what they care about. They care about making money. News is secondary.
Yeah.
Like XXXL and McDonald's, whatever.
Where are you from?
England.
Perfect. So I'm doing a video on Europeans' view of Americans.
Okay.
I don't know if you have any opinions about that.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay.
From Europe.
No, we're
Where are
not.
they
We love
from?
the EU.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like it's a more positive or a negative view of Americans?
I'd say negative. I feel like there's a lot going on there that's just a bit backwards.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we need to move along.
Yeah.
The like, you know, all the abortion laws coming in.
So politically.
And, like all the gun crimes, things like that. Like I imagine like most of the country is absolutely lovely, but there's some of the morals that are just a little bit off for me. So I struggle with that.
I agree, but I do think.
Yeah, which is like the truth is that most of the people in the U.S. Are actually in favor of abortions. Like they are. Like most people here are pro-abortion. They listen to the news. Yeah, exactly right. And the guns and everything like that for sure.
You all like proper chatty and that.
It's not true.
And you're really energetic.
I'm not. It's not about whether you go look it up. Look it up. Just go look it up. Look at a poll. Like it's easy. Like I mean, what the fuck? Every poll says this.
Yeah.
So it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
but I
lovely
also
to
agree
meet
with that as well.
Yeah.
It's lovely to meet Americans.
Yeah.
Love meeting Americans.
Okay, so why am I so interested in this topic? Well, over the last few years, I have shared my journey moving abroad and looking for a home. Because that home is not the United States. I just don't feel connected to that country. Not as a home, even though I'm coming to realize that it did shape me in many ways. I'm just trying to find my place, but as I've said before, different people will treat you in different ways based on how they perceive you. The first time I experienced this was during my high school exchange in France when I was 16 years old. Obama was president, and regardless of your personal political opinions or feelings, he was seen in a generally positive light abroad. So in a weird
people loved Obama. Absolutely.
way, even though I was not responsible for electing him, I wasn't even of age to vote, that scored me some cool points. And then on top of it, 16-year-old French kids living in a small town in the west of France thought it was cool that I rode a yellow bus to school and that I had my own personal locker in the United States. So I was benefiting from all these things that I didn't really control at all. Then I get to Argentina.
Over in Europe, they still have to use horses.
Later. And I see what it's like to be on the flip side, where the general sentiment was more negative. I'm generalizing here, but there's a bit of an anti-American streak in Argentina. And I think this comes down to the image that the United States has of being a bit of a bully. I mean, Che Guevara is a bit of an anti-American, anti-capitalist symbol, right? So that was a very different experience.
Because we fucked with them. Like, yeah, like, of course they're gonna fucking hate us. Yeah, of course. Like, what do you mean?
I'm back in Europe, and I've been here for a while, and the perception has changed yet again.
90% of the Dutchmen think Trump is quite strange.
Yeah.
They think Republicans are also quite strange. And that Americans are very Puritan.
This might just be me, but I do feel like the image of Americans has deteriorated a little bit over the last 10 years. That might come down to the government that's currently in power. It might come down to social media. This is a very complex thing, so I can't point to a single reason, but it's definitely a feeling that's there. Now, on a personal level, before I realized that this was going on, I was kind of unintentionally overcompensating. I felt like I needed to show that I wasn't the out-of-touch American in Europe. And the same thing happened to me in Argentina, where I was speaking with as much slang as I possibly could that I picked up over there, even when it was just way too much, when it was inappropriate. Que zarpado, boludo, está re piola, pibe, mal. Why was I acting like that? Was there a deeper need within me to be accepted by the people that I am surrounded by? To me, it's a little bit cringy to behave that way, because
this is the thing, is like, I remember, like, I've always tried to, that's one of the things that people like about Trump, by the way, is the fact that he acts like an asshole everywhere. It's not like he's nice to some people. He's mean to everybody. And, like, nobody ever respects any degree of, like, code switching or, like, acting different around other people. Right? You mean an idiot? Well, you want to say it whatever you want to say, but, like, if you don't like him, that's fine. But, like, you have to look at what people say. And I think that, to be fair, that's true, right? He pretty much acts the same about everybody. He's authentic, yeah, whether you like it or not. He is. And, or at least he's the same brand of inauthentic in all places, right? I don't want to get into I don't want to get in some, like, weird argument about, like, Trump or some shit. The point is that if you go and you try to get people to accept you, that's the last thing that they're going to do. Like, you can never get people to accept you. They'll never do that.
Compensating for something, which in this case was the identity that people were associating with me. Whatever it was, the out-of-touch, stupid American, or whatever it might be. But that's actually a me problem, not a problem with the world. I've come to realize that people can think whatever they want about you.
Everybody's gonna have stereotypes.
It doesn't change who you are. If people see me as yet another...
I've heard that Chinese people are getting a lot of the same stereotypes that Americans are. Every time that a Chinese person does something stupid in another country, you can read the comment section and see a bunch of Americans celebrating, like, it wasn't us. Hey, see, they do it. Look, hey, bro, look at them. Hey, they're pretty bad, huh? Wow, China, see, they're full of assholes over there. See, we're not so bad, huh? How about that? Yeah, that's what it is. See, they do it too. That's the difference.
They're dumb American, it doesn't mean that's true. And also, it doesn't mean all Americans are that way. I think we all know this.
Of course,
we all know that individuals don't necessarily follow the stereotypes. But it's also how people operate in a world of 8 billion people. I can't blame people for having formulated an idea about the place that I'm from, considering how much culture is exported from that place.
Well, if you watch the news and you've never been to America, you would, dude, that'd be the last place I want to go. I fucking, holy shit, are you kidding me? Like, the cop's gonna just pull you over and shoot you in the head. Like, for what? For nothing, bro. Like, because you blinked. You blinked too fast, man. What are you doing? Yeah, no, that's really what it is, yeah.
A part of me used to try to distance myself as much as possible from anything and everything American.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But the truth is that at least some part of me, some piece of me, has been influenced by my upbringing there. There are a lot of things I don't like, but there are some things that I do. If genuinely being very enthusiastically excited about simple things is the dumb American thing to do, then fine, maybe I'm a dumb American sometimes, because that is something that comes naturally to me. I would rather be myself and accept the consequences than try to be someone that I'm not. And you know what? Everyone wants to feel welcome wherever they are, and especially in their home. But the reality is that that's actually a luxury, not a given. So many immigrants in the United States were never made to feel that way, despite the fact that the country benefited tremendously from all the immigration, all the people that risked.
It's also like, I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, a lot of people in America are from fucking Europe. Like, it's not like we just spawned here, right? I mean, pretty much everybody in America is probably, like, or at least like all the white people, I would say, are probably from fucking Europe. So it's not like this is some kind of crazy, like, Europeans and Americans are that much different. Like, what do you mean?
Their lives to go build something over there. Honestly, I don't have it that bad. Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
I don't have it bad at all. It could be so much worse, and oftentimes it is. Exploring this topic has really given me quite a bit of empathy for the immigrants that are very poorly received all around the world. So, what do you think about everything I just shared here? What is your perception of Americans or of Europeans towards Americans? I would be curious to hear, because this is a giant open-ended topic, and I invite all different opinions and perspectives on this. It's just something I love to explore. Also, apologies to all Latin Americans and Canadians who are Americans in their own right. I have decided to use that word in this video because there isn't really another word that has been widely adopted.
Never, bro. Like, never, bro. If somebody gets mad about that, they are retard. They a tone policing retard that's just looking to get mad. Never, like,
to still speak of the people of the United States. So I just used it for simplicity, and I hope that you
somebody needs their medication.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see all of you very soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Europeans really hate Americans that much. Like, I really just, I just don't really think so. I think the odds are, like, most Europeans probably read bad shit about America, but, like, they don't really have much opinion about it that much. They don't really care that much. We do. Yeah, I mean, some do, I'm sure, but, like, it's the same as with a lot of things where I think that most people understand that what a country does isn't representative of a person. And you're going to have people that bring shit up randomly and they're, like, aggro about it. There's the video. It's a good video, right? Asking the people. But I think the truth is that, like, what do Americans think about people in the EU? I'm going to be honest. Most Americans don't think about them at all. We don't. Like, we're not thinking about that, bro. Like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. Yeah, we're not thinking about them. That's whatever, right? True. No, yeah, what the fuck is a kilometer? This makes you ignorant? Well, it's not necessarily ignorant. It's just that people don't give a fuck. I mean, and to be fair, to an extent, yeah, it is ignorant. That's just the way it is. Why are we going to care about what's going on the other side of the world? Right? That's it. That's the way I see it. Too busy thinking about Canada. We got to figure out, think about Mexico. All the illegals coming from Mexico. That's what we thinking about over here, because that's what's happening right now. Yeah, they're not thinking about some other bullshit. No, like, why would they be thinking about that? Yeah, don't care. Yeah, that's really the truth. I think that's the case with pretty much every circumstance, right? Yeah, that's why I see it. That's why you support wars here. Oh, why we support wars? Yeah, USA military uses kilometers. I don't know. Let's worry about the countries that our ancestors escaped from. Yeah, exactly right. And we don't care about other countries. Wait, this oil. Oh, this country needs democracy. Hey, I mean, like, I didn't, like, look, I'm not on that. Yeah, you're on another continent. Makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Europeans care what happens in America because it does affect us. Yeah, but like what y'all doesn't affect us. And so like that's, you know, Europe wants to go and do like Brexit or some shit. Like what the fuck? Like, go ahead. Like y'all do whatever, right? That's just the truth, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So yeah. We just go watch another one. France is dumb. No, it's fine. Like I think that I don't blame any European for having a negative opinion about America because American media does its best job to make America look like the worst thing possible. Like it does, and it always highlights the worst things possible. And like these people have never been to America, they don't know what it's like. They got no idea. So like all they're gonna know about it is from the news, right? They're not gonna know about like you know different cities or anything like that. Any idea? So like they're just gonna see the news and be like, wow, this is awful, right? I mean, fuck. I think that makes a sense. That's why you care so much about China, huh? Yeah, China's a really big deal. They're a massive player in the global economy. Absolutely, they're huge. That's why people care about China. You want to know why people care a lot about China? Nobody gives a fuck about Madagascar? I'll tell you why. Because Madagascar doesn't have nukes and it doesn't have billions of people in it. That's the truth. Yep, absolutely. So is EU? Yeah, but it's like it's like dispersed, right? It's like individual countries. Like people care about Europe in general, right? Not about like individual countries. Does that make sense? It's like caring about like Texas, for example, versus caring about like the country. That's just how I think people are. And, you know, people might disagree with that, might think it's not true, whatever. But that's at least the reason why I think it's happening, right?